Right, you lot. Let's talk Villa and Premier League game week 25. Yes, that is right. We are going to be switching up the way we do things now. As you can see, I have a special guest because Severus just likes to sit on my shoulder or in and around me. So he'll stay there probably just for this opening segment. We are going to change up the way we do things. We're going to start off by analysing the Villa game a bit more in depth, and then look through the rest of the Premier League in game week 25, what it means for Villa, and what it might mean going forward for our top four hopes. Let's get into it. In terms of the lineup that we went for, I'm not going to do like the nailed on player ratings because I didn't watch the whole game. Obviously it was a 3 p.m. kickoff on a Saturday. It's not on terrestrial TV, so I couldn't actually watch it, and I was out busy a day of buying baby stuff which you can't see off screen. But obviously I've watched as much highlights as I can and have the lineup here, and from what people were saying, we didn't actually play fantastically, but we grinded out a win, and VAR, as you can see from the title, is an absolute shambles, effectively. But let's get into it. So the lineup that we went for was Tielemans. It says Tielemans up front with Watkins, but I think Tielemans actually did play a bit of a deeper role in terms of the actual game itself. JJ, Douglas Luiz, McGinn and Bailey making up the midfield with Moreno. Pau Torres, thank God he's back. I've seen an interesting stat about him that I'll try and throw up on the screen as well. But we win pretty much I think nearly 80% of our games with him, and something stupid like 20% without. He is such an important player for us, and from the highlights I've seen, especially the second goal, he started that move so composed at the back. Ridiculous player. Longley and Matty Cash. We did go with the two left-footed centre-backs. That's fair enough, it worked. And then obviously Emi Martinez in goal, who pulled off another majestic save to keep us in the game at 2-1. Fair enough, the first goal was a bit suspect from our defence and him, but he made up for it without a doubt. So let's look at the stats. The stats that matter: we scored 2, Fulham scored 1. We should have probably had 3 or 4 in that game, to be honest, but we'll get onto that later because I'm sick and tired of the Premier League and VAR at the moment. But we did win 2-1, 48% possession, so we actually lost the battle for possession. Couldn't care less as long as we're getting 3 points. 3 less shots than them, 4 less shots on target, and again, we really should have won this game 4-1, and you'll see why soon. And then passes, they barely nicked us in passes as well. But what am I talking about when I say that I'm sick and tired of VAR and the Premier League? Look, VAR, I'm all for it if it works. However, it just doesn't work. And the Premier League refereeing, the standard of refereeing is just goddamn awful at the moment. It's terrible. There was some stuff in other games that I've just thought, how on earth, and we'll get onto that later, is this happening in the most prestigious and the best league in the world? Let's not get it wrong. In my opinion, the Premier League is the best league in the world. Team for team, best league, hands down. But we look at this here. Look at that. How on earth? This was Alex Moreno scored a header, 40th minute, as you can see, when we're 1-0 up at the back post. Completely changes the game. Just before half-time, you go in 2-0 up. How is that offside? You can see how the lines were drawn on the right. I don't understand how they're drawing those lines. Are they drawing it for Bailey? He is not interrupting play there. I think that's Tim Ream, number 13. He was nowhere near getting to Moreno. So the line should have been Moreno and Ream. You look at the picture on the left, and then we scroll across to this one here where someone has just drawn a better line than VAR. Moreno's miles onside. That was given as offside. And then there's another one. Let's look at this clip right here. How is that not given as a penalty? I think it was against Sheffield United when we drew 1-1 with them. Watkins literally just got shoved in the back, and a similar incident happened in another game this week. I can't remember exactly which one it was. And all of the referees and the pundits and stuff are saying, well, that's a penalty. Because I think it was for like a top 4 team or something, or like this traditional top 6. That's a penalty in Ollie Watkins. That's not shoulder to shoulder. No intention to play the ball. Watkins, to me, has that ball under control. Clear and obvious goal scoring opportunity. It's a foul. Should be a penalty. Ergo 4-1 Villa, not 2-1. But VAR can't hold us down. We look at the Premier League table here, which we will again get onto later on. We're back up to 4th. But what happened around us? So yes, as I said, guys, we are going to go through the whole of the Premier League game week. As you can see, I'll whip that up in a second right there for you. And what does it mean for Villa? What do I think? What teams perform well? Again, I watched as much football as I could this week, but it was a busy one for me personally. We'll start from the bottom and work our way up. Man City dropped points at Chelsea. Obviously, they still have a game in hand, and they are the team in third, 1 place above Villa. Chelsea have actually looked pretty good for their money. since I think it was about 4 or 5 weeks ago. Pochettino is turning that team around. Fair enough, they got battered by City, but you know, a 1-1 result not really going to affect us in terms of Chelsea catching Villa, but in terms of Villa possibly being able to catch City if they keep on stumbling. Haaland starting to miss some opportunities that you'd just literally shut your eyes if he was in them a few weeks ago and go, well, that's a goal because it's Erling Haaland. And are Man City starting to stutter a little bit? Any Man City fans or anyone that did watch the game in full, let me know. We move up, and this is the biggest result for Aston Villa. Wolves, who just seem to be giant killers at the moment. Let's not forget, they beat Chelsea quite recently, and they're on a good run of form against seemingly top 6 to 8 teams. They beat Spurs 2-1, and let's not forget, this is a Spurs team who had Heung-min Son and James Maddison back. I understand they still have injuries, and they are still working back towards a fully fit squad, but with Son back and with Maddison back, it wasn't enough to get past Wolves, who did do Villa a massive favour, so cheers boys, and did take the points from Spurs, meaning that we could leapfrog Spurs again and get back above them. Moving up, West Ham continue their dodgy run of form. Another good result for Villa, really, because West Ham were another team that looked like they might be pushing for that 5th, 6th spot 3-4 weeks ago. But they come off of a heavy loss and go and lose to Nottingham Forest again. Again, Nottingham Forest, one of those bogey teams, and I just genuinely hate playing them because they've got great players in their team. I like Alanga and Antoine as well. They're a good team. They get the 3 points. Moving up, Newcastle again just struggle to find consistency in the Premier League and draw 2-2 to Bournemouth. Bournemouth, another team I like. Solanke I really like. I'd like him to go for us or us to go for him in the summer. But Newcastle again, another team you'd think would be fighting for that 6th spot, maybe as a minimum, falter and drop points. Arsenal put in a 5-star performance. The title race is really heating up. I don't believe Villa are in the title race. I think the title race at the moment is Liverpool, City and Arsenal. And at the moment, I'm still sticking to my guns. I still think City are going to win the league. I think they just have too much, and they can turn a switch and go on a 15-game winning streak if they really want to. It's if they can or not. But Arsenal looking really good at the moment. Declan Rice and Bukayo Saka are dragging them towards that full-on title race at the end of the season. As for Burnley, I think they're already down. Let's be honest. I think they're already down. Liverpool, with Mo Salah back in the team, handed Brentford a heavy 4-1 defeat. Liverpool, again, a team that Villa just aren't going to catch anymore, I don't think. I think, Villa, really, we're looking for 4th or 5th this season. That top 3 are just on a different level to everyone else in this league, in my opinion. And Liverpool showing their class by dominating Brentford and getting that 4-1 result. Moving on to Sunday, the worst result for Villa this weekend is Manchester United, who I think moved 5 points behind us, beating Luton 2-1 to close that gap on Villa. They're on a really good run of form. They're playing well. Again, I'm talking about the Premier League. I'm talking about VAR. How Casemiro was still on that pitch before he was substituted at half-time is beggars belief. The 4 minutes added time, I believe the Luton manager has made a comment about that as well. I don't know whether VAR, the Premier League and stuff, they have this like top 4 agenda or this Man United agenda, but stuff like this in that game in particular, I'm not talking about this season in a whole, but in that game in particular, poor refereeing again and poor VAR, I believe, as well. And how they only get in the 4 minutes added time, I thought there would have been at least 6 to 8. And then Brighton, Sheffield United, another team I think we can safely say are relegated, but Brighton putting 5 past them after Mason Holgate actually tried to murder someone on the pitch. One of the worst tackles I've ever seen, and his career has gone absolutely down the toilet at the moment. But it does mean that Brighton effectively move us 1 step closer to getting Cameron Archer back in the summer when our obligatory buyback clause gets activated when Sheffield United do inevitably get relegated. But what does that mean for the Premier League table? I will whip it up here and whip it up for you guys as well. It means that Villa are up to 4th with 49 points. Liverpool remain top, Arsenal close behind them with 2 points to spare. If Man City win their game in hand, they jump frog Arsenal, and then it is like we're like 6 points behind Arsenal. Let's just say Arsenal are 3rd. Man City will more than likely win their game in hand. So 6 points behind 3rd place. 2 points above Tottenham, who sit on 47, and then, like I said, 5 points against United, who seem to be making a top 4 charge. Can we do it? Let's get my thoughts and opinions after this. So with that all being said, Premier League game week 25, all in all, was a fantastic one for Villa. We get the 2-1 victory over Fulham, and Spurs drop all 3 points to Wolves. We move on. We look forward to next week. My preview of that will be coming out soon, along with hopefully a couple of videos, or at least one video in between. But I do think it was a good week. Villa getting a grinding win, which, you know, something that I think shows character, and I think shows willing to get back into that top 4 throughout all the injuries. We are grinding out those 3 points, and now we need to really put on a show in our next game, get a little win streak put together, and show the Premier League that we are top 4 contenders. I had no hope for this game. I predicted us to lose, and they have proved me wrong. Prove me again next week, Villa, please. But that is all for now in terms of Villa and Premier League game week 25. If you prefer the new format, leave a comment down below. Any fans from any Premier League team, let me know what you guys think as well. And Villa fans, let me know in the comments what you thought of the performance. If you were there in particular, how was it for the full 90 minutes? And are we good enough for top 4? Who knows? But as always, up the Villa and be nice to everyone.